Tuning in now after the live, please make sure to hit that like button as you come on in so that we can help expand this to not just the current audience we have, but maybe someone who wouldn't have seen this unless we hit that like button, expand us through the analytics and push us through the algorithm. But also share this on social media so that we can help expand our reach and help more people find this community. I think we have a lot to offer. I think we have a lot of beautiful people that make up this community, and I think it's something special here. So please help push the community and help send this through the algorithm and through the analytics. We got a lot to talk about here this evening. We'll keep it more technical analysis based tonight. Tomorrow we've got extra news to talk about, but that's not until tomorrow with the Fed minutes and everything coming out. So we'll get into that. JW, hope you're having a great one as well, my friend. Thank you so much for being in here. I really appreciate it. Fletcher, good evening. Showing out with that 2-year badge. JW's been well over a year in his as well, as he's got the I Told You So badge, and Fletcher's got the 589 badge, which is awesome to see. Cezanne, welcome in. David Kennedy, good evening. The Stranger and Hamza, welcome in. Fletcher, greetings to you as well. Mel, good evening, love. She's got the 3-month badge, I believe it is. Mark Caston, good evening. Free Toast. UK Phil, welcome in. Puentes, destroy that like button. Yes, indeed. Rando, hello all from beautiful Naples, Florida. Welcome in from Florida, my friend. John Carter, good evening. Everything's going pretty well for me. I'm on a little bit later tonight. Got all the kids. And, how it goes. Sometimes you don't get on exactly when you want to get on, but close enough. But everything's going well. I can't complain today. Let's see. Yen, good evening. Stacy, Marcus, good evening. Seen a couple others that I need to say hello to as well. But let me timestamp this very quickly here. Jorge, Michael, and John, welcome in. And John has 4 of his own, so you understand. Messi, good evening. So good evening. 6:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, December 7th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in as always. Please make sure to hit that like button if you are tuning in to watch this. We are 17 minutes until the daily close. So we'll be here definitely through the daily close and then a little bit after the close as well. Back into this, we'll take a more of a talking break, but for now I would like to go through the technicals here for XRP and especially Bitcoin as well. As XRP, if you're new, we'll get this out of the way. Eric, greetings. Diamond in the Rough Creations, welcome in, and thank you for being in Tom's Army in month 1. We can see that because you have the month 1 emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yes, indeed. You better believe that's my face superimposed on there. A lady who watched the show made that for me years and years ago. And I honored her with what she made as the month 1 emoji badge. So this, January of 2018, we hit the pattern resistance, all-time highs. Traveled all the way down here to March of 2020. Had all the way up here. Then we got the news of the lawsuit against SEC. Against XRP filed by the SEC. Came down and retested that same uptrend in December. Came up to second form of resistance here in 2021 after the rally up in 2021 to $1.98. Came back down, retested this again in 22, retested it again in 23, and now it's looking for me. I'm looking for it to finish off, and it's farther down. I'm trying to get it to finish off here. Just bear with me just a sec. And come through here and have a retest here for a 3rd time. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a rally to 85 cents. Whether it's bullish or bearish coming through there is irrelevant to me. I just want it to either get rejected if that's what it wants to do and carry on, or if we can finally get out of this range for it to do so. I prefer for it to do it before the 15th just because of the debacle of BUSD and Binance, how it's going to be delisted on the 15th. I would like to see this move happen before then so we can make up our minds of what's actually going on. We can clearly see a rounding of the bottom with XRP. We can clearly see that this cup and handle, if you look at it from the short term, it's putting in a bullish handle right now, but the longer term started back in July of this year. So that would bring us up to 85 cents as well. Tanya, welcome in, love. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll get the HBAR in just a minute as well. XRP, though, what we're looking at is, I believe, and yes, it's not 100% an inverted hammer, but I think it's leaning that direction of an inverted hammer. A lot of pressure here. And this looks like we could have a nice bounce going into the next segment. I would love to see us close first layer over 645. And then ultimately over 648 on one of these daily candles. And help continue signaling a break out of this rising channel resistance. We're back outside of here. So we can absolutely, I want to keep that on for now just so everybody can see. But after, we can take that off, much like we did the rising channel on the way up. But this is how you break past this region. We bounced off of it, so I'm going to take that off here just so everybody can see it in the shorter time. And we can see what needs to happen. Now we need to stay over this 648. Actually, it's about 65 cents. So, yeah, let's get over 65 cents and hold. So, absolutely, the weekly golden cross is 100% in play, and it's looking beautiful, honestly. It's referring to the golden cross that happened here. What happened is we had this 20-day back. It's actually, I got to go back a little bit farther. We had it finally come up. For only the third time in XRP's chart history, we've come up for a golden cross where I circled. That was only the third time it happened, and that was back in July. As we said, every other time it's had at least an 80% drop. This time was about a 75, 74% drop, so pretty damn close. It almost came down to the uptrend here. It was at about 40 cents, 39.6. Came close, but it reconsolidated and made a W reversal. Now, if you're asking me what I'm seeing here, it looks like to me in the weekly that we have a bull flag trying to play out here. Looks like a dragonfly is more than likely formed here, and that's a good sign for the weekly. This looks stronger than it started the week, and there's not much bottom side pressure here as well. Once it came up, it came up. So it might have come down here for a quick wick, as we've seen at 58, but it immediately bought back up. So now what we're looking for is for the breach of that rising channel that started in June of 2022 resistance. But yes, that golden cross is 100% intact, and it converged. So we have the 20-day crossing the 50. This line was the 100, and ultimately the 200, this dark blue line. Came back through, let it separate, and now it pulled back up. Now we came down and we just retested and showed that it did not come through this 20-day here. We're still strong in the area. That weekly is very much intact, and if it plays out properly, this shouldn't just bring us to 85. This should at least allow us to retest here. And then if this weekly golden cross plays true, that's when you start talking about the $1.13, or possibly, if we want to have a little output here to $1.38, that's how you could possibly have this kind of thing happen. Potentially, even if you broke 85, you could break a pattern that started in June of 2018, and possibly make that technical target on that breakout, which I can show everybody here again. That technical target, if you break out of this region, and this would be indicative of doing this around my birthday, which is on December 17th. I'll move this out, though, because this arrow's right here, but we can continue to move. Now it says December 22nd. So, or 25th, or 22nd. I don't know what the hell it said. But it needs to finish in this range. It needs to break out over this, break over the 85 cent mark, and as you come across, it's going to continue to get lower. This is on the 25th, so this is on Christmas. So, Randall, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. First donation of the night. I greatly appreciate that. If you appreciate what I do, please make sure to hit that like button and share this on social media. 46 likes, 75 people watching. I admire and I embrace each and every one of you who are watching, even in the high times of volatility, because you are the ones that we want to ask questions to when the prices are actually pumping at some time in the future. Take a look to your left and right and see the ones who are here right now. Those are the ones you're going to want to ask, not the ones who aren't. Especially when it's volatile. You want the ones who are, you know, emotionless and they can watch the charts. If you don't want to hit the like button or share it on social media, you can always send me a YouTube super chat as Randall did, or join Tom's Army as a few of the others in here already are. We got some as many as 31 months going on in Tom's Army, which is insane. We've got one in here that has the 2-year badge, which is the longest active badge, until somebody gets up to 36 months when I can unlock the next one. But yeah, if we break out of this range here, you could have a technical breakout, and it would take time up to $2.10. That's the size of this formation and all the built-up pressure that would have come in within for the last 4 about 5 years, going on 6 in January. So 6 years of pressure built up. Eventually, it's going to burst. And I don't mean breaking to the downside. Eventually, you're going to have a big retest to the top side. It would be shocking if we don't get one eventually. XRP market cap held serve today, up 0.44%, sitting right around, what is it, 34.65 billion. We're up about 0.4%. If we break all-time highs, expect about a 50% correction immediately after it gets back into discovery, and then it breaks down. And I only say that because we've had people waiting from all-time highs since 2018. If you don't believe that we would break down like 50%, I think some would be out of their minds to not believe it. If you've got people that are holding for 5 years and just waiting to get even, imagine the amount of liquidity that could form there. I'm just saying. Eventually, though, you'd break and have a big move. But just, you'd be naive to think you wouldn't get at least a 50% liquidity correction. Because it's going to have to reshuffle and yada, yada, yada. But with XRP, the market cap, we're on a beautiful spot. We talked about if we could get back on top of 33.15. There's nothing in between us and going back to the top of the rising channel resistance. The only thing that we could have measured on our chart was right here at 35 billion. And that would have been the completion of this very short-term little cup and handle here, a little cup. So, other than that, if you get on top of this, I don't see any reason why it won't go to 38.9. If we're going to get rejected, it would be around here. Yes, please hit that like button. And Trading with J-Ride says we're almost there. We are almost there. It's going to be a great altcoin season, and we'll know when the altcoin season's approaching, and I'll show you right after I talk about HBAR for Tanya. Tanya, we're approaching that 7-cent mark we talked about to end last week. Remember on Friday? And going into the early week, we talked about that 7-cent rally. We're doing it right now. Remember how, look at how it's beautifully following what I put out here for us to follow. So you have a break up, hit it right here instead of here, broke down, hit it perfectly, break up, did it perfectly. Now can we retest? It's trying to do all of this right now. See how beautifully this is working out? And now if it breaks out of here, there's nothing. This is how you can make a run back up to 8.4, but it's doing it beautifully. Yes, indeed, Tanya. You've been through all of it. You've been through all of it with XRP. I bought mine 3 months after the lawsuit was announced. Sold it 5 months after the lawsuit was announced at $1.66 after buying at 47 cents. And then you guys know the history. I bought it back in early 23 for 34.6 cents. And the rest is history. It really is. But again, this looks fantastic. This is okay. So if you're looking for an inverted hammer style candle, this is one. You want to have it 2.5 times, maybe 3 times the size, the top end wick. It doesn't have to be like that. But this is a more traditional setup. If I didn't know any better, it looks like HBAR after a little consolidation here. It got its nice, look at this. Look at this beautiful liquidity flush it had from the top. And this is what I talk about when we want to have a continuation move. This had a 9% dump almost after a push up, after the consolidation. A 19% push up, followed by a 50% correction, roughly. Maybe a little under, but close to a 50% correction. That's exactly what you're looking for. The other thing you're looking for is if you're having consolidation after a move up, is the volume crashing with the consolidation on the move down? Because that often is a bullish continuation, and that's exactly what happened. Push up, and then the push down, push up, push down with the price action. So this is beautiful setup right now. This is actually what you want to see. Now if we can get a break in volume again, you're going to get a nice explosive move. That's what we're looking for here. We really are. Where are you on ALGO now? Do you think it's at a good entry? No. Where am I at on ALGO now? Well, the fact that I told everybody on Winning Wednesdays and FOMO Fridays, and that doesn't mean that everybody who's asking questions were there. We had a very simple philosophy. Does anybody remember on ALGO? I only managed to get 7,800 tokens. In this rotation, I talked about I was only buying in the rotation, and once it was over, and that's all I managed to get was 7,800 in the rotation. About 10.2 and under is where I bought it. So the average is right around 10 cents. I said I wouldn't buy it when it broke this resistance because it was going to be a volatile move, not just here. I believed it was coming all the way up here because of that big drop. So I personally am not buying it. That doesn't mean that you can't. But me personally, if I'm going from roughly, we'll just say 10 cents to make ourselves happy, it's up 58% from where I bought it. And where we bought on Winning Wednesdays or FOMO Fridays. Is anybody here who bought this with me on FOMO Fridays? It took the better part of... actually, no, this was Winning Wednesdays we bought this. It took us the better part of 9 to 10 weeks to buy this amount. And then it broke out. So I stopped. Remember, I canceled the FOMO or the Winning Wednesdays because I said I'm not going to buy it as it's going up. I'll buy it if it comes back through. And now we're at 58%. Jorge was there with it. Excellent. Trading with J-Ride was there. We up almost 2x on algo now. It's getting close, my friend. Some of it we did buy at under 9 cents, but most of the rotation was anywhere between 9.5 and 10.3, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I understand we did buy some when it was a little bit lower. Around 8.5 cents we got some, but most of the rotation happened, if I'm not mistaken, just slightly over 10 or slightly below. Some of it was at 9, some of it was, and it took 9 weeks, Jaden with J-Ride said. Excellent. And I don't, like I always said, one of the cool things about this community is I don't charge for anything I do. There's no paid promotions, no paid advertisements or sponsorships you have to sit through. You're never going to hear me stop and start promoting some other bullshit. I just do the truth and I tell everybody what I'm going to do because I feel like in the end, I'll get paid immensely, not just for my own holdings like I've been, but also the pay it forward mentality. That's why people join Tom's Army. That's why you see people send donations. It's not for no reason. It's just, it's not necessary to get any of the information. And some people think that's counterintuitive. I think it shows an excellent source of, it shows a sense of respect that I have for my audience, but it also shows a level of class that I use and ethics, and the fact that I'm humble enough to know that this information I can get rich off of, but I'm also educated enough to know if I'm making money off of my audience because I'm selling some bullshit or doing some paid promotion or telling you to buy something that you don't really need, somebody has to get poorer for me to get richer. And that's not the way I look to make money. Yes, in the grand scheme, if I own gold and silver, would the ones who own fiat have to get poorer for that to get richer? Sure. But you have the choice yourself. I'm indirectly. You're being hurt indirectly, but not by my action. If I push something that you don't really need or some token that'll be gone in 6 months, that's what happens all the time. You see it all the time on YouTube, and it discourages me. But I get offered it all the time. Hey, put $1,000 of your own money into it. We'll give you 10 times more than that worth for when you sell out. Get your audience to buy into something similar to Safe Moon or all the ones you hear all the time, Pepe and all those good ones. I was offered the same great deal to tell you that it was going to be a fantastic coin, and all I had to do was pay $1,000, and they would give me 10 times the value. I know how it works, and then they told me, when it goes up 3-4x, you sell that $10,000 worth of tokens we're going to give you up for $1,000, and you'll make $30,000. I know how it works. I'm just not willing to do it. So it's same thing like when I was younger. A bunch of my friends and a bunch of people that I disassociated with started being drug dealers in high school because it was easy money. Some of them ended up behind bars. I decided to go work at Myers for my 7 something an hour when I finally got that job. It's all about the way you value things, not me. I'm not going to take advantage of people for money. Puentes, thank you for the $5. General Tom, can you look at Casper? We can look at Casper. So, do we understand with Algo? Algo, is it a bad time to buy? It's never a bad time. It was already up to $2.55, so you're saving 99% right now. But we're bouncing off the 200-day. We've had a golden cross here, so if you expect this to come down, think again. If you're expecting this to just all of a sudden break down, maybe this is the best deal you'll ever get now. We just got a very lucky rotation. And not by luck. We caught it at a beautiful time. It's not by luck. It's because this community is dedicated. I don't come on here every single day with a midday market report, the early morning XRP technical analysis with Bitcoin sometimes, and then do a short at noon or 12:30, and then come on at live around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and then weekends, repeat the action with lives most times, but at least the updates. I don't do that for no reason. I do that so we can stay ahead of the markets, ladies and gentlemen. Not just me, you as well. So resistance, support, resistance, support. We're expanding this. So if this should come up here, and if it gets a rejection here, maybe you could get lucky and get but I wouldn't expect it to come way down there. I would expect now this bottom of the channel or top of the channel to be the new resistance. So let's say it goes up here. Maybe it would just bounce down here if it did come down. But I'm not, if it breaks up here, who's to say that it's not going to form some volatile spikes in here and then come out even further? So, you're not going to get $5 XRP on January. I'm just being honest with you. You're probably not even going to get $1 XRP. What we're looking for is 85-cent XRP for our Christmas move. Everybody else talking all the other stuff, I mean, I don't entertain myself with it all. We'll go to XRP because the daily close just happened. Right now, further correction should be had. More than likely, we've never retested the golden cross here in the daily. And like I always say, don't be fooled just because you want it to go up. We often, always, you can't say 100%, but 99 or 97% of the time, this structure will retest the golden cross so that these buyers can take those short-term quick profits, and then the ones who are holding can see if it's worth continuing to hold or if there's going to be a better buy to retest the structure at 3-1. And it doesn't seem like a big move because we didn't retest the structure break, or we haven't retested the golden cross yet either. So it's either you wait and see, do you get a better buy-in at about anywhere between 11.9 and 14%, or is it going to correct another 10% for about a 23 or 24% drop to the pattern structure breach on the breakout? That is something you can answer. I'm not going to answer it. So what I'm looking for is a typical retest here, which would normally happen. This is your long leg doji candle telling us that, hey, we need to come down here, confirm with the pattern that everything is okay. We're on top of one pivot point, so if we hold the 413, we should be fine. But other than that, this 397 is just going to confuse everybody because, actually no, because that's the lower pivot point, so that's technically right. So it still actually played true. I can't believe it. So we'll see if this continues playing. Those are your levels above, and it's going to be a pretty ride. I am going to redo this chart though soon. I really am, because I just didn't want to do and confuse it again. Here, let me show you what needs to happen. I need to get rid of some stuff. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so I think everybody's ready to see exactly with this pattern. That's the breakout in the short term, but that's in the daily. We could have actually broke this down a little bit differently. We could have come from up here and just did it like this from the wicks, but we showed you, or I showed you from a shorter time frame before all these wicks happened, where we knew exactly how it was going to play out. But you can see the breach point. So either way you come on this, if it breaks back down, it still would come pretty much to the exact same spot, is what I'm trying to say. It's not, there's not going to be a big variance here. It's not. So we'll see what happens here. This is what I would do. Honestly, if it was me, now that we know the pattern, that's what I would do. I would say, hey, that's what we were actually going for. Now that we know the entirety of the pattern, you're not bound to keep something that you're guessing on. If you need to adjust it, by God, adjust it. Don't be like, oh my God, I can't move it. Oh my God, I can't move it because somebody might think I'm not as smart as I was. I don't give a rat's ass what anybody thinks. I just know that it helps us and benefits us to understand the formations. And we could put this one, but that's just a bull flag consolidation. This is nothing more than a falling channel, which is actually, or a descending channel is actually good. If it continues, you have this downtrending resistance, little support that's trying to be created here. And you can get a pretty clear level of where you should probably head to. Or if it breaks through, like we said, you could have a bigger correction. And yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, everybody makes it sound like you got to pay for all these fancy classes. All you have to do is understand the setup. Once you understand it, you don't got to pay anybody for anything. And they can't lie to you. That's what I always said. I'm going to teach myself so nobody can deceive me. Now look, you got this pattern by the balls, the fortuitive and figurative balls here. If it breaks down, you know it's going to the golden cross. If it breaks up, wow. If it breaks up here, let's get a measurement. Let's just see. Let's see if it breaks up, and we're going to be conservative. We're not even going to go the entirety of the bull flag. We're just going to go from the flag, within the width right now. So let's just say instead of breaking down, son of a bitch, it breaks up. Let's say it does it here. This would give you a technical target on a breakup of 5056. Now, that would be if it breaks up and doesn't have to retest the daily time frame golden cross. just consider that. So you can start to stay one step ahead if we do get a breakout. Well, now we have a kind of a estimated targeted range where that so-called breakout could hit. So, and I'll put this where, and notice how it's going to the swing high, which is so funny that it measured up there. But hey, when things are meant to be, they're meant to be in certain orders. So that's Casper. Let's go back into XRP. I got excited here. First XLM. If you're tuning in, please make sure to hit that like button. 95 people watching on this beautiful Thursday night. I appreciate each and every one of these fine humans that are watching. And I know some of the segments I do, people leave because it's not XRP. But wouldn't you like to know everything in one? Like, wouldn't you like to know exactly what's going on? Wouldn't you like to know why XLM is doing what it's doing? Or why XRP and XLM run pretty much the same? Or XRP does something, XLM does it as well. I mean, me personally, we know what's going to happen. If this breaks up past this uptrending resistance and that goes back in the pattern, if it's above it, it pumps. If it's below it, it dumps. We need to break up over 12.7 here. We hold 12.7, this technical move up should be able to play out to 15.1. That's what I'm waiting for, a volatile swing up. If we break down, which there's a better than 40% chance we break down and it would go to 8.8. But we're looking at the positive route right now because I believe it's trying to put in this inverted right arm here. And if it swings up, it'll validate it. So let's just pay attention to this. DGB, as we make our way to XRP. Got rejected again at the 890 level. Looks to be consolidatory candles. Should come down and retest this, in my opinion. Probably at the 848 to see if the daily's strong here. I mean, if the 4-hourly strong. If not, it'll have to retest the daily. I don't know if it's ready to come all the way back down to 008, but it could. And I would really like to take a closer look at DGB real quick. We've had a massive breakout. We're at a double top right now. And everybody knows the pesky word I'm probably going to use. And these are typically bearish reversals at the top if the pattern can't break true out of it. So in this case, it might only be like this because it needs to come down and consolidate at some of these new support areas. But we'll determine this very quickly where it's at. I'm not in the business of BS, and I'm in the business of getting results. So right now, you're looking for, if we break through this rising channel support, if you break through like the 8.5 level, you can all but certainly count your blessings. Or not count your blessing, but count your sorrows. That first layer, you're coming down and you're going to try to hold the 20-day just below here at about 848. If it breaks that, well, that could be a double top formation in the making. And we might have to come all the way down. We'll see where the 2 hour, no. It could be a 2-hour case where you come all the way down to the 8. Oh boy. Maybe it is coming down to 008. Because we have a golden cross and we haven't retested it. So you know what? I would say that 008's a fair bet if we break out of this rising channel. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll just test the golden cross there. Also trying to continue to bounce off of here. I mean, we got a long ways to go if we move to the up direction for DGB. So just pay attention. We're not in as bad of a spot as it looks here. XDC, I put on the overall pattern for XDC. I don't know what happened here because it's supposed to be like this. But I ended up putting this overall pattern. I told everybody I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't get everybody hopes up when it was in the actual falling pattern. But I said I would do it once it broke out of the second tier channel. Because that was the breakout attempt after it's breaking out. I know it sounds confusing. But this formation started. And you can say the breakup happened back in July. The resistance happened in August. I got in resistance. And now it's, do we come back down here and retest the support, or are we going to try to break up? Right now, it's making you think it's a correction, but this very well could play out as a long leg doji. We'll just see, because this candle technically has vanquished now, so it's a little behind. XRP, as we can see, let's go into the other chart. We still are right below. We closed right below the 648. We need to be on top of here. Ultimately 65 cents so we can continue to push up. We had a nice candle as far as how it held because of what Bitcoin was doing today. So like I said, XRP has been running opposite of Bitcoin as of late. Wool says it's a pity XRP is not doing like other alts, where since October. A lot of people are pointing what the other alts are doing as of recently, but what people aren't telling you or acknowledging is that XRP already did a more better, about a 1x since the beginning of the year. So as some of the other ones were catching up, and I know because I did FOMO Fridays and I was able to buy them 6 months after I was able to buy XRP because they didn't hit the rotation yet to the bottom side. So yeah, some of them look like they just made a 1x move. XRP's already done that. So whatever it does is on the top of that move. So that's something that we're discounting as well. I don't know, like I said, anybody, I'll open to let you answer this. Anybody who's watching, I don't know. You tell me where I can park my money in 2023 at 346, and right now at 64 cents, just 64 cents, it's up 85%. So tell me where I could park my US dollar that would have an 85% return right now. And some will say, well, Tom, you have to buy it at the right spot. That's called knowledge. That's why I do this every single day. You too could be in the exact same position I'm in with my portfolio. I put down about $6,700 worth of crypto right now. 3,500 into XRP, just over 3,000 into the rest. That portfolio is over 13,000 right now. That was all acquired this year. So like, I understand bear markets and we have a lot of room to fall. I have a lot of room in my portfolio for it to fall. But I'm also going to take a hard look at BUSD on the 15th. Yes, in China, some people who are quicker than me, it could be the 14th. But where I live, I can only go by is the 15th. We're going to smoke this cannabis and we can have a nice discussion here. 100 people still here. So let's have a discussion here. Am I on topic or am I off base? We'll go back because we need to look at Bitcoin as well. We need to look at Bitcoin. And the US dollar's come down today. It went up to the golden cross and it reversed. It did a reversal candle, but we're going to see if this plays out as a reversal, if we get a little bit of pressure back up tomorrow. But if this is the reversal, I expect a magnificent drop here. That's nothing more than a right arm. It's just if it plays up, it could have ramifications for risk assets, precious metals, and things like that. Total crypto market cap, I believe, is in a very interesting spot, to say the least. We have not had a heavy correction since we broke out of this formation, but the next major resistance is at 1.795 trillion. And I know I look crazy when I say these things in between, but once it starts happening, people are like, well, what the fuck? How did we go from 1.1? Nobody's seen that to 1.6. It's like, we did. It's just a matter of where does it break out. It appears I broke out. But we just needed to break that. That's what I was saying. Just break. And we had a nice move up. We had a rotation there. But we broke up. And this was going for quite some time on the total crypto market cap. That downtrend started in 2021. So this is essentially what we're talking about, XRP. Except XRP went back by 3 years. But the uptrend, or the downtrend here, started around the same time. But look how we broke out of this. So if this is breaking out, and we're going to confirm this, first we have to get over 1.79. But if that happens, the sky's the limit. We broke out of a 3-year downtrend almost. Almost 3 years. So, and then, yeah, speaking of Bitcoin dominance is high. 54% of all money right now is going into Bitcoin. We talked about how there was a 68% chance when Bitcoin was in the rotation down here that it would come up to 57%. It broke out and it's continued right in this uptrend the entire way. It looks like it's still kind of bull flaggy here and it's just trying for some consolidation here to see if it can continue. If you want an altcoin season, you want this to not only come down to the uptrend at 52.6, but break. The maximum return, I believe, right now would be about 57% with the Bitcoin dominance chart. If we look at it like this, it's slightly higher. Slightly high. I think I messed that up just a little bit. There we go. Just slightly higher. But if it's ready to reverse back down, it's possible. It's possible. It's just you'd have to give that channel back up. But that's the dominance right now. So 54% of all money that's flowing into crypto right now is going into Bitcoin. So that's a lot of money going in there. With Bitcoin as well, for it to have a continuation, this is what I was drawing. You want to bounce off of 42,663. We talked yesterday how you could have a better than, and it happened today. That's the thing. Like, was anybody here yesterday when we talked about this, when it was up at 44,400 area? We talked about how you'd be looking at a better than a 1,500 point drop today, which is exactly what happened because it was consolidating. And we talked about how I find it very hard to believe that it wouldn't have this correction, and it was only like a 3.5–4% correction. But this is exactly what we talked about yesterday. Had to happen to continue. I even drew it out. But if it breaks down below that, well, then you have to talk about, well, we might have to come all the way back down and test the lower levels. But is it ready to come there, or is it ready to bounce again? To me, if it's ready to continue this broadening wedge breakout, the technical target's 52,000. There's no way around that. That's the technical breakout. Should I claim the Evernote airdrop if I use Ledger Cold? Blah, blah, blah. Recommendation. Okay. Here's my way that I always tell everybody. If you have to build a trust, no. If you can take your XRP off the Ledger and put it on like Uphold and let it sit there until after the airdrop, sure. But if you have to build a trust through your Ledger, no. Because that'll give them a backdoor into there. That's just my personal experience. So it's kind of like them putting spyware in there. You're giving them to build a trust. They've got a little bit more of your information, yada, yada, yada. They steal your stuff, and because there's a trust, they can just openly, and nobody's going to ask a question. That's how I approach it. And there is an airdrop coming to Uphold, which is why I mentioned Uphold. Uphold, and I will be transferring my XRP. Most of my stuff is on Uphold, as you know, but I've been using the Zoom wallet to put my XRP in, so it can be attached to the Ledger, a non-custodial, and I'll put it back on Uphold. I just need to see the exact date for the airdrop. But excellent question. And I love Zoom. I love it. I just don't talk about it a lot, but some people used to get mad in the past when I would say that I keep my, but they would never let me finish, so I just let them believe what they wanted. Some people really took offense to the fact that my crypto was on Uphold, even though I still have my XRP that I'm saving on Zoom. But Uphold XRP airdrop is what we want to see, so we can get the date. Uphold changed its airdrop from 10,000 XRP to 20,000 XRP a day after teaming up with Ripple. Uphold, oh, I don't want that. I want the... I guess they don't even have anything on it. I'll have to look into this more. Now, the Evernote was on the XRP Ledger account. That's what I was talking about. Now, if you have to build a trust on there, I wouldn't do it just because. So... what do we think? What do we think about Bitcoin, dude? That's broken out of a massive broadening wedge and the technical breakout. And we can't help what the target is at 52,000. We just put it there. The initial breakout target off of the shorter broadening wedge was 42,663, which right now it's trying to use it as support. And that would confirm and signal the move up. And it would validate that signal with the hold at 47,000. See how that works? You just have to understand what you're looking at. And I know it can be confusing. That's why I always tell everybody, come here every day with me. I'm very transparent. I don't charge you anything. You know, and all I hope for, and I expect the audience to do the right thing by hitting that like button. If you never want to send a single dollar and pay it forward, that's on you. That's up to you. And it's on you to just hit the like button. There's nothing wrong with not sending financial support. There's other forms of support with what I do. You can even click on the links that I provide and use the same things I do so I can see the ones who are interested in what I'm doing. The ones who sign up and use, like how I use MEXC and or BitUnix right now in the USA, but I have it in the video description. The ones who sign up there, I can at least see the interest. I can see the ones who are interested in what I'm doing. You know, and it does help. Believe it or not, that does help. And that doesn't cost anybody anything. You're going to make the trade anyhow. But the things that help me the most, hitting that like button and share this on YouTube, I can't stress it enough because the YouTube algorithm is a pain. So, I guess in conclusion tonight, is we need to break over this rising channel resistance that started in June of 2022. It's right here at 648. Now 649. So what I'm saying is let's get a close over 65 cents. And let's do this the right way. The volume's picking up slightly in the dailies. Nothing to write home about. But it's a little bit stronger than it was mid and late November, early December. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, please make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel and joining the well over 19,300 subscribers. If you want to show support, you can always join Tom's Army or send a YouTube super chat. And to help expand this community, please hit that like button and share this on social media. Thank you all so much for letting me entertain you for the last 40 minutes. I think we covered everything we needed to.